What needs to be done to fix air travel in Canada?
I think it's got to be way more user friendly. I think a lot of why it's such a, let me say this, it's a very miserable experience to the process between when you get to the airport and get on the plane. And I think that's not for good reason either. I think that's security theater, and it's a grinding plague on the ordinary Canadian who wants to fly, and it's got to become a much more user friendly process, customer service oriented. Yeah.
Pay the employees better, pay them for sitting on the ground instead of not until the plane is in motion. And if it costs more to the consumer, I think overall it would improve air travel and maybe feed people. Air North does, why not the other airlines? Make it more comfortable.
Connection flights are getting better slowly because there's more people again, but people want quality, and I don't really hear a lot of that coming out of the southern parts of Canada. On lineups, there's more people down south, we know that, but it's getting to be like that up here as well.
Airlines need to be honest. Don't be overbooking, and don't be hosing customers and charging extra when there's no justification for it.
I think you have to improve passenger rights. I know they're working on it, but we just got back from Hawaii, and our flight was canceled. It's never happened to us before, and we're seniors. They just left us on a concrete slab at the airport, and so yeah, we need more rights for air travelers.
Make it less of a monopoly, have some more competition so that the prices are more fair. Like the US has a lot of competition airlines, so I think we need more airlines, more low-cost airlines.
We had a 9-hour stopover, delay yesterday for our flight to get here.
Yes.
So that's a pretty funny question.
Yeah, 9 hours. Yeah, we were delayed. Our flight's supposed to leave at 8:40 in the morning yesterday. It got delayed three times. And finally, our flight took off at 5:40 in the afternoon. So it was a 9-hour delay. It's crazy. And yet, not a word of apology from Air Canada. So how can air travel be improved?
Definitely.
Definitely, I think Air Canada, WestJet needs to invest more, better trained personnel,
Customer care.
Absolutely. You have to keep all your customers informed and advised, and perhaps I guess maybe compensation because of a 9-hour delay. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, it would be appreciated.
That's a good question because all of our colleagues got stuck when the computer system went down. So I think probably IT seems to be the first problem. Some people lost their bags, so their bags didn't show up until a couple days later. So it looks like there needs to be a lot of work on that. So.
Great.
I would say more regulation, making sure that people get to going where they're going to go, and if they need more staff like traffic controllers, hire them, because it's very important for us to be able to travel in the north. It goes for Alaska and Canada. We need to have the people to do the work.
Break up the power that airlines like WestJet and Air Canada have over the east-west, and I think allow smaller operators to kind of fill in the gaps.
The thing that air travel that's been frustrating is keeping accountability to the airlines for when they do mess up things. Like, there's nothing more frustrating than having your flights canceled and on paper you're supposed to receive compensation, and in actuality the airline will just lie about what happened. And they're like, oh, the flight has a delay or this, and I'm like, no, there was wildfires and you didn't have a crew ready and you canceled my flight while I was at the gate. Yeah.
Cost, reliability, treating their customers with respect when there are problems, be more upfront with information during their problem issues. There are rules, and the rules are there. They're not there for an airline company to find a way to get around.
That is a good question. I think competition is important. We don't have many airlines in Canada to compete against each other the way they do. Europe, for example, has a lot more competition. I think their prices are a little bit better than what we see here. And I think that's probably a big one. I think also we see that they're losing pilots are one group where there's a lot of retirements and they're having trouble filling that. So I think recruitment probably and training for pilots be a big one, I think.
Oh my God, I would think like cost wise, actually. So I just recently booked a flight to go to Toronto. Like the cost of like airline, I like the price to fly from here to there is very costly compared to like flying from here to like compared to like LA or like California. So I think that's kind of like they have to do something about it because it's like nice to explore like your own country or where you live in, especially out here in Canada, but it's kind of like impossible sometimes because the cost of like even just traveling from here to like the East Coast is like way up there.
Well, I know that recently with WestJet, the pilots were actually the lowest paid in Canada, so they definitely needed to do something to get their wages on parity so that there would be no disruption in service. I think that it was unfortunate because a lot of people who had plans and made vacation plans, they just couldn't finish them. So here it is, you're paying to go somewhere. Your flight not getting there is a pretty big impact, especially when you were talking about earlier where people are feeling more the pinch in finances. They can't really afford to have a holiday go sideways, and they really want a holiday, especially after COVID.
I don't know if this will be a popular response, but I actually think that some of the security stuff has gone a little too far. I lived in Montreal before, and you could get on a train with very little hassle, and to the point where flying from Montreal to Toronto wasn't even worth doing, considering the commute time to the airport, time in line, the discomfort of it all. I think that they need to, they probably have better access to data. AI now should be involved in that and really assessing what the risks are and trying to get people to be more comfortable and moving more quickly through the whole process, I think would help a lot.
I don't think they have the capabilities to handle the amount of people that want to travel. If we had more competition, more airlines, I think that it would bring down the cost and it would take some of these burdens off of the two major airlines that we have in Canada.